Y'all, this episode was crazy. It was too much going on, but we're gonna cover it right here. Y'all, when I tell you this episode was so funny, I was cracking up the whole time. I literally was cracking up the whole time. It was so much going on, so much chaos. And Baddies is back, okay? Because I don't know what they had going on last season in Africa, but this season right here is what I've been waiting for, okay? Let's get into it. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Pluto Talks here with yet another video. Today we are going to be talking about Baddies USA episode 2. As y'all can see, the look is inspired by Smiley because her confessional had me cracking up, okay? But before we get into this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you don't know, now you know. I have a second channel, which is actually my main channel. It's called Naya More. On that channel, I post some more lifestyle content like vlogs, day in the lives, and I'm also about to start Vlogmas, so make sure that you guys tune into that. But I'm not going to hold y'all any longer because we have a lot to cover in this episode, so let's get into it. Alright y'all, so this episode starts off where we left off last week with Biggie yelling out to Smiley,
"Get back on set! Get back on set!"
So they get into it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it does look like Biggie was getting Smiley just a tad. And then they pan back over to Tanka versus Killer, because as we saw last week, Killer ran up on Tank. She did get a good kick in, but it was given the same thing that it was given last week. Like, Killer was keeping up, and Tank, she was not thrashing Killer like we all thought that she should have and could have because of their significant size difference. Like, Tank is thick, okay, and Killer, she's a little bit smaller, so you would have thought that Tank would have really did her in, but she ain't really do much. But security breaks them up, and here goes Tank with the theatrics once again. She like, "It'll never happen. It'll never happen. It'll never happen." Like, okay girl, okay, we get it. She not really gonna get you, but you ain't getting her either. So it's just like, it'll never happen for both of y'all at this point, okay? So then we're back to Biggie, and she's just like yelling out,
"You did me dirty with my man. You did me dirty with my man." And
like just going off on Smiley. And Smiley is giving scary. I don't know, like, we knew that Smiley wasn't the biggest fighter, but she was copping a lot of pleas, because she like, "What do you mean? Like, I didn't do that. Like, what are you talking about?" And then she's in her confessional, which her confessional had me dying, because this is why I have this on, minus the sunglasses, because I couldn't find my sunglasses, but we're just gonna use our imagination. But she in her confessional like, "I don't even know why Biggie wants to fight me," and da-da-da-da. Girl, you were online prank calling her on live. I see, we all seen it. She was prank calling Biggie, talking about, oh yeah, acting like a producer on Zeus, talking about, yeah, we want you back for Africa, and da-da-da, and Biggie actually fell for it. So of course Biggie needed that, okay? And then Smiley just like, "I ain't never disrespect your man. I ain't never disrespect your man." And then here comes Chrisean. Like, she was annoying me this whole episode, but she trying to intervene and figure out what's going on. But they're just saying the same thing. Like, Biggie feels like Smiley was disrespecting her man online, and Smiley is acting confused as if she doesn't know. Now, personally, I didn't really see her disrespecting Biggie's man online, but I did see like her plan and prank calling her phone, and just like, you know, just being messy and, you know, being Smiley. We all know that Smiley just be, you know, hacking into shit and all that. So this is nothing new. So then they get into it once again. I'm not gonna lie, Biggie was getting into it. I'm not gonna lie. This is the Biggie that we've been waiting for, because we've been waiting for this since Baddies West. Like, Baddies West Biggie, I like that Biggie, because she got in the field, and I'm not gonna say Biggie is the biggest fighter, but she definitely was, you know, doing her one, and she was getting Smiley. Like, I slowed it down. She was getting her in her face, like hitting her head, like, and you could see Smiley's face was just tore, okay? It was tore down. Then we get back to Tanka and Killer. Tank picks up Killer's hat off the floor and puts it on, and Killer's in the confessional like, "She got my hat, she got my hat." And I'm not gonna lie, she definitely clocked it with this, because she was like, she feels like Tinka's embarrassed and she's being super theatrical, even though we all know that that's how Tinka is regardless of who she fights. She just so theatrical and gotta do the most. But she did hit it on the nose when she said that she feels like Tink was embarrassed because she didn't really do her in like we all thought that she was going to do her in. Because when I tell you, just seeing the run up on episode 1, I really thought that Tink was going like have her here, there, everywhere, and that wasn't the case because Killer was definitely keeping up. So I definitely feel the same way that Killer felt when she said that in the confessional. Meanwhile, Anna and Gretch is going back and forth, and Gretch, she said something like, that's why he gave you a STD.
That was nothing. You're mad. He left you burning.
And I'm like, ooh, because if y'all remember, I don't remember when, but I think it was like back when Scotty and Anna had their little situation, and somebody, I think it was actually Smiley, yeah, because Smiley, we know Smiley's messy, but Smiley basically was trying to say that Lemmy, allegedly, let me say allegedly, but she was basically saying that Lemmy was giving out STDs like Christmas presents, and I'm not even gonna lie, can't believe it. No shade. So then Tommy comes in and she's serving looks per usual. This is nothing new. We all knew that Tommy looked good. And Scotty comes in as well. Now, personally, I don't think that Scotty should be here for the remainder of the season only because she's pregnant. And even if she's not getting into altercations herself, she's at risk because we all know how the baddies get. They're very reckless and they don't really think before they do. And you never know, Scotty could be somewhere and they get to fighting and somebody hit her in the belly or knock her down or anything. And I like Scotty, don't get me wrong, but for the purposes of her being pregnant, I really don't think that this is the environment that she needs to be in as a pregnant woman. And then Scotty's in her confessional talking about, yeah, I'm coming in thinking that they're gonna be talking and all that. Girl, you've been on Baddies since season 2. You know how these dinners go. You know exactly how the dinners go. So why are you acting brand new as if you don't know that it's gonna be a fight? Let's stop pretending, okay? Let's stop acting like we don't know what Baddies is. So let's stop acting like they were gonna talk it out. We knew that no talking was gonna be happening at this dinner. So now we're back to Killer versus Tink, and I'm not gonna lie, for the first half of the fight, we couldn't really see because security was like blocking it, but I kind of concluded that Tinka was getting her because everybody was like, ooh, oh my God. And Killer ended up on the floor. And then once security broke them up, Tink said like, you spitting or something like that. Now, I personally didn't see it, and I also played it back. I didn't see her spitting, but I don't know because we know how Killer get down. She gonna spit, kick, anything. So I'm not surprised if she did spit, but spitting is disgusting to me. So if she did spit, that's gutter butt. That's gutter butt, Killer. I like you, but don't do that. Let's not do that. Now, here comes Lex, okay? And Lex is one of the very people that I like. I'm not no scary person, but if I had the choice, I would not want to get into it with Lex. I'm not gonna lie. She got the long, I have long arms too, but like, she just be. But she comes through talking about she needs that from Fauna and Tavy. I don't know why I couldn't think of her name for a second, but she said she needed that from Fauna and Tavy. So she comes through, and I wouldn't say she snuck Tavy, but Tavy saw her coming. So I'm not even gonna say she snuck her, but she definitely caught her off guard, and she did her infamous headlock and she get the going in on Tavy. Tavy, she just need to stop fighting her. Like, even though I know that this time around it was Lex coming up to her, but Tavy, hang it up, Bookie. Okay, your face, it keeps getting fucked up. And they get into it. Minka, Minka, Minka. And then once they get broken up, Tavy, she's so annoying to me. Like, I hate when she's arguing because all she does is just yells in that lowercase yell. She like,
You ain't do shit, son. You ain't do shit. Just like I said, you ain't do shit.
And she was like,
Fuck is you talking about? Fuck is you talking about?
Like, I'm like, oh my God, Tavy, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Like, she gets on my nerves, but it's so funny because, like, that's literally how she be. She be like,
Fuck is you talking about? Fuck is you talking about? You ain't do shit. You ain't do, still ain't do shit. Still ain't.
I'm like, okay. Okay, girl. Your face says otherwise, but okay, girl. So they go in for round 2, and once again, Lex got that straight face shots. Y'all just need to stop because it's inevitable, Tavy. Like, you're not gonna get that. So now Lex is on that. She like, next. And Fauna, she comes to the front lines. So now her and Fauna getting into it. And last season, it did seem like Fauna was keeping up. And I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, like, couple hits in she was, but Lex got that. Like, Lex, one thing about her, she gonna give you straight face shots. She was like, bow, 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 bow. Right in Fauna's face. I'm not gonna lie, Fauna, you did not win that. You did not win that, honey bun. So now Lex, ain't no shit. Like, y'all know how she get when she piped up too. Like, I'm not gonna lie, all of these hoes are annoying. They're all annoying when they get mad. Like, once they're up here, it's really no getting them back down. Here comes Tavy like,
Bitches is mad. Bitches is mad.
so they going back and forth. Mind you, in the midst of this, the BGC ladies are walking in, and Tanisha had me cracking the fuck up because she got out the Sprinter looking like she had ops. Like, she looking here, there, behind her. Like, she really got somebody to look out for. Girl, you have no beef. You're good. You're okay. But then again, I take that back, because with the baddies, they're unpredictable. So you do got to keep your head on the swivel. So I ain't even mad at her. But that shit was so funny to me, because she really looked like she was disturbed coming out the van. Like, she was looking around like like she didn't know what the fuck was going on. So now the scene goes back to Tavy and Lex going back and forth, and Tavy just like,
Cause you lost.
and baby, you lost. That face says it all. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, her confessional, she looked really, really pretty. Like, it was definitely a way better look than the first episode's confessional, because I don't know what the fuck that was. But Tavy, she's not ugly. She's a very pretty lady, especially when she's all glammed up and pretty and the wig is laid and the outfit is cute and all of that. She just looks older. Like 45. And that's okay, but you know. Anyway, and Lex is just like, who? And I'm not gonna lie, she ate that, because if anything, y'all lost. You and Fauna. Now, Fauna's face was not as like tore up as Tavy's was, but I'm not giving the dub to any one of them. I'm not gonna hold you, because they both lost. You'll get her next time, maybe. I don't know. Never mind. I take it back. And it's just like, it was just annoying, like this whole scene. But Tavy's just like,
You're a sore loser. You're a sore loser. And like,
I'm just like, all right, skip, whatever. We don't really need to see it, because they not really like fighting anymore. But the funniest shit happened, because Tavy, once the security was like breaking them up more, Tavy was like literally yelling in the security guard's face. I know he was mad as shit.
Bitch, I don't give a fuck. Like I said, you're mad.
Girl, like, back the fuck up. Stop. Please stop, for real. So now Lex is saying that she's done. Finally, I don't really want to see y'all fight 10,000 times. Like, I'm cool with a cool one and done, maybe two if the first round wasn't really, you know, giving. But like, if y'all just gonna keep fighting, I really don't want to see that shit. So Lex is basically saying, I'm done. And then Fauna is in her confessional basically saying like, yeah, I done knocked some sense into her, because she knows better than to want to fight again. Who gonna tell her? Who's gonna tell her? Because what my eyes saw, and I know y'all saw it too, Fauna lost. You and Tavy, y'all both lost. So I don't know why y'all being delusional, acting like y'all really tore her, because if anything, Lex tore y'all. Like, I'm not gonna say she full-blown like did her in, but, well, did them in, but she definitely won. So now the moment I've been waiting for, Summer and Tiki. So Summer is basically, we don't really see like the beginning of the conversation, because it was just so chaotic that it was just like, it just seemed like things were getting clipped. Like, we was just here, there. So we get to Summer, and she's basically saying,
You're weird as fuck.
basically talking to Tiki, and then she also goes to say, I like you. I think she was talking about Chrisean or whatever, but her and Tiki are going back and forth. And when I tell you Summer was running, I've never seen Summer run like that. Like, no matter what, even though we all knew that she was gonna lose the fight if they were to get into it, but let's be honest, like, I've never seen Summer really run from a fade, even the biggest bitch. Like, she's never ran, so I was very surprised to see that. She's literally running, like hiding, like she like, get her away from me, get her away from me. And Tiki was slapping her down, like she was slapping her down. I'm like, get her, get her. And my thing is, I thought she was on that, because episode 1, when Suki asked her, like, if you need to run that with her, will you, she was talking her big shit. I'ma run that, I'ma run that, da da da. But now when she want to run it, you're running. I was so confused. So Chrisean, like I said, she was like the most annoying person on the episode. She was like trying to break it up, get in the middle of it. And Tiki was saying the same thing that I said. Slap her. Like, she was saying, if I can't slap her, you slap her. If my sister was fighting, I'm slapping the hoe. I'm not breaking it up. And then throughout this whole like chasing and running situation, Tiki just like, I'm giving grace, I'm just slapping you hoes. And I'm not gonna lie, that is graceful of her, because I'd be scared too. It's like, I'm playing, but like, she is giving grace, because normally Tiki will really want to, like, you know, throw them for real. Like, she not for the slapping and all that. So she is giving grace. And Dolly, she was killing me too. She like, y'all, stop. Y'all, Tiki, stop. I'm like, yo, her accent be killing me. Like, she's so country. Like, but she was just like, y'all, stop. Y'all. I'm like, yo, this is the funniest episode ever. So now, out of the blue, I don't know who ran up on who, but Gretchen Anna gets into it, and Anna put her straight on the floor. That shit was so funny too. Like, and then and then Tiki all like, Gretchen, get the fuck, Gretchen, get the fuck. And then here go Gretchen. She trying to like fake dap up Tiki. Gretchen, she just looks so stupid this episode. She looks so dumb. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? For real. But Chrisean was in the middle of Summer and Tiki and trying to like get Tiki away, and Tiki's like, or you smack the bitch, or you smack her. And like I said, if I was Chrisean, I would have been smacked her, even though the whole situation was based on something that Chrisean said. If y'all hashed it out and y'all figured out what was going on behind the scenes, and y'all said that y'all was going to come in having each other's back, you need to be slapping her. I don't give a damn how y'all feel about it, but me personally, I feel like Chrisean was copping please this whole episode. But we gonna get into it, because it was giving scary the whole episode, y'all. And I really like Lex this season. I think she's probably gonna be one of my favorites. And that's saying a lot, because I've always liked Lex, but I didn't like who she surrounded herself with. Like, being part of the big three definitely knocked some points off from Lex. I like Lex. I like how she stands on principle. And she straight up told Summer, and she also said in her confessional that, I mean, hey, it is warranted. It was bound to happen, which is very true, because if you're going to go online and you're going to say something like that, even though, like I said, Chrisean was the originator of this whole thing, but my thing is, for her to go and repeat it and it not be anything to do with her at all, I mean, hey, like, it's warranted. And she basically told her, like, it was bound to happen. So now back to Smiley versus Biggie, and Biggie is yelling again.
Why are you trying to hide behind cameras? Get back on set. Get back on set.
I don't plan, but she basically trying to get Smiley back into the frame so that they can get into it once again. So out of nowhere, Anna hits Smiley, and she got her good, like, in like her temple. It seemed like she hit her right in her temple. And Smiley in her confessional, she basically says like her head started hurting and she started feeling dizzy. Next thing you know, Smiley is on the floor. Mind you, we see like a producer standing in front of Smiley holding her, and then all of a sudden she falls back onto the floor and everybody is like, here she go again. But my thing is, Smiley has said that she has epilepsy. But on another note, it's like, if you know your condition and you know the type of environment that Baddies is, why would you put yourself in that position? Because if I'm not mistaken, people with epilepsy, if they're put into like very stressful situations and like chaotic environments and stuff like that, that can trigger that. And plus, not only that, but she's getting beat on. And Anna only had to give her one good time, and that was it. And basically Smiley has been saying that this is not what she's been here for. Like, she came to Baddies, I don't know what her purpose for is, but I'm guessing she just wanted to have fun. But my thing is, you knew you had beef with these people. Why would you ever come back thinking that shit was sweet and you thought that they was just gonna want to talk it out? Y'all know how you know how they get down on Baddies. You knew that somebody was gonna try to run a fade with you. So I don't understand why she's acting like she just didn't know. But so we're back at the dinner now, and Chrisean is talking to Tommy, but it was kind of like at the group as well. And she's basically saying like people pick and choose when they want to like jump, because you know the big three is known for jumping in some cases, in some rare cases, because we have seen it before where even if it's not a jump, it's a tag team, direct tag team, or they are jumping. We know this, especially Dolly and Summer. I won't say much of Lex, because Lex, she does say that she doesn't stand for jumping and all of that. So, but we just know that they're known for jumping. So she's saying that, and Lex speaks up. And from my understanding, with Chrisean tried to make it seem like online when she was like making those posts talking about, yeah, she's coming to Baddies to clock everybody tea, and she had people quiet and this, that, and the third. But my thing is, Lex shuts you up low key. Even though I do feel like what Chrisean was getting at was accurate, it was still like she was kind of backing down, and she was copping a lot of pleas throughout this conversation, because she was basically just saying that the big three knows who and who not to play with. And we all saw when Tiki was coming at Summer, like Lex was trying to get in the middle, but she was just holding you know, standing in the middle of it, trying to hold them back. And then Dolly just in the back like, Tiki, stop, Tiki. So you know what I'm saying, it wasn't really much that they were doing. They were trying to stop it from happening, but they weren't physically trying to stop it from happening. You know what I'm saying? Chrisean, once Lex responded to what Chrisean was trying to say, like generally, she was like, so why are you speaking so directly? And then Lex is like, well, you're saying something that has to do with me, basically. And so they're going back and forth, but nothing much is really happening because Chrisean is not really trying to like fight. So then Roelly also chimes in, and she basically says like, people are ducking smoke. And she's absolutely correct, because Summer was ducking smoke. But then as soon as the big three like responded like, who ducking smoke? She like, well, I wasn't talking about y'all. Who else? Y'all all giving scary. Like, it's a lot of people now that are trying to like back down. And I'm so confused, because like Roelly, she's normally the one to speak her mind. And once she did, she kind of like backtracked on what she said, which I thought was kind of interesting, because I'm like, y'all saw it in 4K. Summer was literally running. And for her to like kind of backtrack on what she said after saying it, it's kind of interesting to me. So then out of the blue, Chrisean goes into her confessional basically saying that it seems like people are trying to get a moment and they turning Baddies into UFC. But if I'm not mistaken, Chrisean was literally the breakout fight. Like, she was the one who started the breakout fight that really put Baddies on the map, in my opinion, when she put Sway in the sink. Like, that went viral and everybody wanted to start watching Baddies. So if we're going to be technical here, you kind of started the UFC vibe to Baddies. So now Tommy and Suki are literally being the clowns that they are, yelling out, y'all need to have a dance battle.
We don't know who the winner is. Hey, look, they finna have a dance contest in this bitch.
And then we just see Gretch in the corner icing that knot. Yeah, I'm gonna stay on her neck. I told y'all from episode 1, I'm staying on Gretch's neck every chance that I get. And she was looking stupid this episode. So now here we go with Tank looking for a moment once again. She all like, yeah, I was pregnant and I need to get my stamina up. Somebody. And then she's talking to Roelly, talking about, yeah, you might have ran into the bullets, but I didn't, so I need that. So out of the blue, when Tommy and Sapphire, because y'all know Sapphire with that fat ass pencil, she was writing down what was going on. And out of the blue, here comes Tank coming from behind, and she just snatches Tommy's wig off. And she did have her for a second, but it really wasn't much of a fight. So Chrisean is basically saying like, now what if I jumped in, or something like that. She was basically like saying like, what would have happened if I jumped in? And then Lex is basically like saying like, so why didn't you? And that's the same thing that I was thinking. Like, if you putting out all these hypotheticals, why didn't you do it then? Like, that's my whole point of it. But they just going back and forth once again. And then we get the iconic scene of Tiki basically saying, my sister. So basically Summer is like, this is something between you and your sister. You should be slapping her. And Tiki's basically saying the same thing that I was thinking. Like, they hashed it out off camera. You know, they did what they had to do. And she basically said, if we didn't, you think I would be standing next to her right now? So now I gotta slap you. And then we get her slapping, and then Summer slaps her back but runs right after. And it's just another, it's just another part of just the running and chasing. I skipped the part, but basically, see, this is why I'm fucking with Lex, because she literally said, I'm not jumping in because I don't agree with what she said, which, Lex, I'm giving you your 10s. And even Tiki said it in the scene. She said, I respect that. And I respect it too, because no matter what, now it's different if it was my sister, but if you're my friend and I don't agree, well, even then, like, even though I'm saying, like, if it was my sister, but if it was something like that, I would be, you know, like, you gotta chill. But definitely my friend. Like, one thing about me, I'm a real friend. So if my friend is dead wrong, I'm definitely going to call them out on it, and I'm not going to support their antics. So I definitely agree with Lex with how she said, you know, that's my friend. I'm going to have her back at the end of the day if y'all did jump her. But I'm not just going to jump in off the strength of the situation because I don't personally agree with what she said / did. And so I'm not just going to fight in her honor just because that's my friend. And Dolly also says, you know, her and Tiki hashed out their issue, so they don't have an issue. And she said Tiki herself walked up to Dolly and told her, like, I don't really have an issue with you, so I don't want to fight you. And she's like, you know, we stand together, but at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna let her handle what she gotta handle. And I find it funny how Mariah Lynn can fight Summer, but when Tiki wanted to fight, Summer was not having it. But so Mariah Lynn comes up and she like, I want that, I need that, blah blah blah. And then Summer like, fall in. So they get into it, and I'm not gonna lie, Summer tour. Nah, Mariah, you lost.
Nah, Dolly, you lost.
Summer tour, I'm not gonna lie. She was she kept her head up and she was like getting her straight in her face. Mariah was swimming and she was just windmilling, so it wasn't really connecting. Like, she was hitting her, but it wasn't really like in her face. So I would give the round to Summer, honestly. So now Roelly puts the attention on her, and she's just, I agree with her. She was like, y'all beef is drawn out because they basically was saying it is because of that, but Mariah is still holding on to this audition situation. And I'm just like, yo, like, okay, y'all did what y'all had to do the first time. Y'all didn't have to fight again, and you putting yourself into this situation and trying to fight into Tiki's honor when she already done slapped her up a few times. So it's like, do you really need to fight for that. Like it was just annoying to me. But now Roelly wants to talk to Tanisha, which I was kind of confused about because I don't know, like I said in episode 1, I don't really follow like the baddies tea pages, and like I don't really follow any of the baddies really. But apparently Roelly and Tanisha got into it because of what happened. It's been so long. Did it happen in Africa, or was it the season before? Either way, the season where Slim came and they had their whole situation. And I still stand on the fact that I do feel like Roelly was bullying Slim, because she never really had a fair chance to really like say her opinions or like say how she felt in the situation. It was really just like Roelly over talking her, or they just fighting. So you really didn't get to hear like the point of view of Slim unless it was in her confessionals. So I do feel like she was getting bullied, and Roelly knew that she could beat her up. Just for her to like sneak her and do all that, I do feel like it. But apparently Tanisha went online and said her piece about how she felt like Roelly was bullying Slim. And Roelly basically apologized. Well, Roelly basically comes over and she's like, you know, I really saw you as one of my favorite bad girls of all time, and so I just felt a way that, you know, you were coming at me and you didn't know what was going on, because just like we didn't know y'all growing up on Bad Girls Club, you don't know me personally from Baddies. So you can't just say that you know the situation from the outside looking in. So they make up, kiss and make up, and Tanisha, they hug or whatever. Tanisha basically apologizes for, you know, saying whatever she said or whatever. And Chrisean, she tried to like be messy and say something. I think she was like, because Tanisha was like, I didn't even want to come here. And then Chrisean was like, but you did though. And like she was trying, I think she was trying to like see something happen, but Tanisha was basically like, I'm not gonna give them what they want, and they hug it out, and that's the end of it or whatever. So now out of the blue, Lemmy comes through, and this time his face is not blurred, because as we know, we've seen it on past seasons, when Lemmy comes into the scene, he loves to blur his face out for some reason, but we all know that it's him. He got that long ass head. But anyway, so Lemmy comes into the scene and he basically gets everybody's attention, basically saying like, Natalie will not be like as present in the season as she usually would be, because they're looking for, you know, leaders and other baddies that could potentially be like, you know, up there. Then he goes on to say Scotty has an announcement, whatever, whoop-de-doo, we already heard it already, she's pregnant. Now I'm not saying that like, you know, I'm not happy that she's pregnant or whatever, but like I said in the beginning of this video, I just don't think that Scotty needs to be in this type of environment. She needs to be somewhere where it's peaceful, quiet, and not much violence going on, because she's definitely at risk of something happening. Lex in her confessional isn't too happy about it, because she didn't really get to like finish off the beef between them, and now she can't, because she can't fight a pregnant woman. And she's not super, well, she still claps or whatever, but it's, you know, one of those little phony claps. So she wasn't really too happy, because I think she wanted that from Scotty. But anyway, we see a note on the screen, and Zeus is basically saying that Chrisean ended up bringing on Marsh, which, why are you here? Like, for real, like, that actually pissed me off. So I feel like the way that Tiki was acting in this scene was definitely warranted, because one, you tried to get her jumped by this girl, so of course she's mad and she's triggered, and rightfully so. And like Chrisean in her confessional was trying to act like Marsh didn't do anything or say anything, so I don't know why Tiki is acting like this, like she's just trying to get clout, and she just saying stuff like people been saying that Tiki is boring, and so she's trying to act a certain way.
This is just what she wanted, because I haven't said anything negative, weird about my sister, but all that other stuff, here you go, you can have the floor. That's all y'all be wanting nowadays. It's just clout, 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 clout.
So now we have 3 different sprinters slash buses or whatever. On bus number 1 is the big 3, Roelly, Nunu, Gretch, Suki, Sapphire, and Tank. They're on that bus. Bus number 2 is Fauna, Tavy, Scotty, and Cold Killer. Bus number 3 is Mariah, Anna, Biggie, and Tiki. So on bus number 1, they're just talking about, you know, what happened the night prior at the dinner and just, you know, recapping what went on. And Tank, in her confessional, she basically says, like, she doesn't really want to beef with Cold Killer, and, you know, she wants to make money off of her app, so she want to make a song with Cold Killer. And then she also says that she feels like Killer wants to be her friend. No, I think you want to be her friend, honestly. Like, because you keep saying that you don't know why y'all fighting, but you was the same one that came in the room on that. So make it make sense. I don't know. But then on bus number 2, this is definitely the most peaceful bus. They're just talking about how excited they are to get into the get into the house and whatnot. And then bus number 3, Tiki is just talking about how Chrisean is playing in her face, and basically how she heard from Sapphire that Chrisean said that even though Tiki is her blood, her real people is Marsh. And I just raised the eyebrow to that, because I'm like, but you... Okay. Then back on bus number 2, they're just congratulating Scotty on her pregnancy. And then Tavy, she makes a comment like, yeah, Miss Nunn is going to pay for your baby shower. And then Scotty, she's like, no, no. And I felt the same way, because we already know how their relationship is, especially now that she's pregnant. I know that Natalie is fuming. I know she's mad, because it was supposed to be her. Like, low key, like, it was supposed to be her. But anyways, so back on bus number 1, Summer asks about how Natalie is doing to Roelly, and Roelly basically says, even though we're beefing, I don't want to fight her. I just want to troll her, and I want to have a conversation because she's been going through a lot and this, that, and the third, whatever. Bus number 3, Anna says she doesn't know why Marsha's back, because she's not a baddie, and she doesn't know why she keeps getting brought back as a guest, because she doesn't deserve a spot, which I agree. Like, what are you here for? You're a nobody, literally. Like, you don't need to be here for real. So now the real drama happens on bus number 1, as expected, because this is where all the crazy ones are. So bus number 1, Summer and Tank is kind of going back and forth, because Summer's basically saying like Tank doesn't like Dolly or something like that, and Tank is basically saying like, you know, we was cool back on Midwest and da-da-da-da, but Dolly says off camera she was acting cool with the big 3, but then once they got on camera it was a different story. Because if y'all remember, I don't really remember what fight it was, but basically Tank said something about she thought that Dolly threw something or something like that, and she was like, yeah, I thought it was Dolly that threw something, because I'm gonna need that or something like that. I don't really remember, but Tank says that when they had that sit down with Diamond, and Dolly says something, because you know she was hella injured, she was like, when my hand heals I'm gonna need that with she says she needs that with Tank. And then Tank said, let's run it in the scene, not currently, but back when they had that sit down. So now we're in the scene, and we just see Dolly taking her bag off, and she like, so what you want to do? And she just takes off on Tank, and she got her. She got her, okay? Like, I was not expecting that, even though Tank, she low-key been really going outside, I'm not gonna lie, because it hasn't been really giving this season so far. Like, even with Cold Killer, I thought that was gonna be an easy dub. And I'm not saying that Dolly can't fight, but I'm just like, wow. But it kind of cuts off after that. So on next episode, we see Natalie at the house and she does her little evil laugh. That shit was so hilarious. But we see Tank versus Dolly again. We get to Tiki slapping Summer again and they get into it a little bit. Then we see Natalie bring out some more baddies. I couldn't really tell who she was bringing out. Oh, my light died, y'all. So we see her bring in some more baddies. I couldn't really tell who it was. And then we see some cracks forming in the big three, because not only did Big Lex tell Summer to shut up, but we also see Dolly telling Summer to shut up because she was inserting herself in certain things. And then we see Chrisean and Tiki get into it, and it looks very intense because Tiki got very, very emotional. But thank you guys for watching. I'm so sorry for the ending because my light went off and I feel like I look weird. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this recap. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode because it was so much to talk about. Like, it took me so long to take these notes. So make sure that you guys give me a like, okay? Because I really put a lot into this. Because I never realized how much it really takes for me to actually try to get every little detail of what is going on in the episodes. But I hope that you guys enjoyed it. At the end of the day, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to my second channel, subscribe here as well, and I'm going to see you guys next week. Bye.
You said I can't trust in you.